Hello, this is Paul again, and we just got done with part one with this unit where we were talking about the file menu, and we did talk about the handling of creation of files and saving them and closing them. And in this portion, I'm going to get more into a toolbar, but give you a quick overview of what has transpired, why we did cover several things, like I said, but I'd like to mention that in addition, there is a selection on the file menu to export your file in a different format, export it as a PDF, or send it to somebody in your email. And if you have this function set up on your computer with your provider, this is an automatic thing. Take notice that we also have information about our document with properties and digital signature if you have initialized a digital signature to your document. This way that people will know who the file is coming from if you send it to somebody. Templates are also available in here, and when we go to the print menu, we are able to view it with page view, preview before you actually print it to hard copy. Also in there, I do have it that I have exporting to a PDF file again, and also be able to make settings for your particular printer. I would like to spend a little bit of time to talk to you about the toolbar, which is located right underneath the menu bar. And this toolbar is it's a way of shortcut to make a quick selection of what you want to do. Now, there are several different toolbars available in OpenOffice, and these bars will change according to the purpose that you're using. For example, you get a different toolbar for Writer as you get for any other function of OpenOffice. So these are completely different as we go from one program to the other. I'd like to show you about how the different toolbars are made available to you. As you can see, there's quite a list as we hold our mouse over top of toolbars on the view menu. Then we are able to see quite a few and make a selection of what you want to have and be able to use in any program. So it is not limited to what you're able to work with. Now, realize this, the more toolbars you have on display, the less workroom you have on the surface of your document. Looking back on our previous slide, take notice that right underneath the toolbar, we do have a formatting bar where we are able to choose how our text will look. As a name of different fonts are available, we can also adjust the size. Now, I'd really like to spend some time on the next portion, which is talking about the tabs. Tabs is used very similar to what used to be in the practice of a typewriter. It has survived. However, it's much more flexible than what the typewriter ever was. If the ruler is not on display when you start Writer, you can always go to the View menu, and if there's no checkbox there where ruler is on the list of the View pull-down menu, you'll be able to click on it and it'll make it appear. Take notice on the ruler going across the top of the page, it does mark off the section of what is the typing area in your document and how it's inside the bounds of the paper. And you need to realize that your printer will not go completely from edge to edge of your paper. There is a standard border. To handle this, it is set for you for what is suggested and most common. But my arrows on this display here is pointing to some Tabstops, and they are automatic. Every time you hit the tab key, it'll move over that much increment for each of those stops. I'm pointing to only two of them. However, the pace is very well set going all the way across. Unless you set a definite tab, it will go that single increment. Take notice that little box on the far left there of that line, it will show you what appearance of a tab stop will be made on your document as you click on the top of the ruler bar. To do this, all you do is go to the measurement that you want your tab stop to take place, and it'll delete everything that is default to the left of it while keeping it at a default setting to the right of it. Now, also, you need to remember that this is going to take effect for your entire document unless you change it. Take notice that when you click on top of these, it will change its design. As displayed here, it is for a left justification. It'll switch around to the cycle as you click on top of that box to be centered, and also for it to be right justified, whatever you want it to be. There is also another selection to be made that will cause it to be in line to use for money, and it'll adjust the justification to be according to the periods that you use on such a layout. There are also other layouts that can be used that will make it very interesting. Play around with it, switch it around, and see what they are. Now take a close look at this slide here, and you can see the couple different justifications that are made to the tab stops. The one to the left is a left justification. The one in the center is a right justification. Meanwhile, the one on the right where I'm pointing is center justification. So they're the different marks that you can select from, among others. I would like to mention at this time that these tabs can be set in any order. You do not have to start from the left and go to the right. Just wherever you want it to go, you can do it anytime you desire. And also, when you are further on in the document, you want to remove a specific tab stop, you just delete by dragging it off the ruler, and it'll be discontinued from that point on. As I have already mentioned, once you set a tab, it is good for the continuation of that page until you change it. Once you're finished with a tab, it is very easy to remove it by holding your mouse on top of the mark that you have placed there and be able to drag it off of the toolbar, and it'll be discontinued from there on. So you can use several different settings throughout your document as necessary. If you're setting up some kind of a table and being able to just use your tab stops to be able to enter your information, you can always change it or even adjust it the same way. If you want to move a tab from one side to the other, you can just hold that mouse on top of that tab and move it from left to right and be able to make the adjustment as desired, and it'll take place for the rest of that document. However, if you have already been into the document and you go to move it, it's only good for that line unless you make a selection of much greater amount of data that is in your document, and then all of that will also take effect. Since I still have a little bit of time, I'm going to go back to the toolbars one more time and take notice that as I do, notice that there's a drop down arrow at the end of each toolbar, and in there you're able to customize the toolbar to include whatever tools you want to be contained there. Customizing the toolbar is very easy by clicking on the desired selection there as you tap on the down arrow and be able to see a window like this. And as you scroll down in the center there, you'll see the different tools that can be added to that bar as you desire. One thing I often might add to this is to add the Save As button. Instead of going to the menu, I might want that on there so that I have a quick reference. Now, when you change these toolbars like this, it will take place in all parts of OpenOffice. It'll be the same for Impress and also for the spreadsheets. It will be repeated over and over. So one setting will fit all. Once you have made all the changes you'd like to make, be sure to remember to see on the bottom that you can always say OK and those changes will take place. Now there is a cancel button on the bottom of it that will also take you back and leave everything as it was. Now also there is a reset button to turn it back to what they have already established to be default for that particular toolbar. As we come to the end of Unit 1, I'd like to remind you that experience is the best teacher. I encourage you to start writing something, create some kind of a document, write about a previous event that you had. Maybe it might be a birthday or even a child's birthday or somebody's vacation. Some kind of enjoyable time in your life that you would like to document and make it more meaningful by writing it down. Now, this is Paul Jones, and I invite you to come to Harrisburg and join us at the Open Office Special Interest Group, where we are learning more about the activity of using OpenOffice.org. And we do have plenty of room there. There's not a whole lot of people attending at this time, so we have plenty of room and be able to handle any questions that you have to ask. Now, also take advantage that we now are providing a link to be able to email me with any questions, or you might even want to let me know what you like to hear about, where I'm missing, what more you'd like to hear. So it'll help the development of this site. And I thank you for going through this practice. There is going to be plenty more of different parts of OpenOffice, and it will be even more interesting to know the different things that this program will do.